Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series 3 3/4 inch scale Scarif Stormtrooper Squad Leader. Or so it says Squad Leader. It's not the Squad Leader, it's just the regular run-of-the-mill trooper. This is a Walmart exclusive basic Black Series figure, and I've not yet seen them on retail. I did get mine from Walmart.com, so if you're trying to get these, that might be your best bet. Packaging, as you can see, is the same Black Series packaging we've seen before, black and red. Figures prominently displayed within. You can see his accessory. You get an image of the Scarif Trooper down on bottom. This side of the box gives you a little peek inside at the figure's profile. Opposite side just gives you the name of the figure. There is no numbering system on the 3 3/4 inch Black Series figures. At the back of the box, we have one of those wretched Walmart stickers that they place on these things when you order stuff online. There we go, that's better. So we have some information on the Scarif Stormtrooper Squad Leader. You know what, I kind of think maybe they intended this to be the Squad Leader at one point, but then for whatever reason they just decided to paint up a regular trooper. I mean, I can't think of any reason why they would put that on there. It doesn't obviously affect the figure in any way, but it's just kind of annoying. But looking at that here, there's the same render of the figure. Specialist stormtroopers stationed at the top secret Imperial military headquarters on Scarif, shore troopers patrol the beaches and bunkers of the planetary facility. So Scarif troopers are also known as shore troopers, as we've established before. There's the top, there's the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spend a few minutes, get this guy unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Scarif Stormtrooper. Okay, and here we have the Scarif Trooper out of the packaging, and it looks magnificent. I mean, to me, it really looks like a shrunk down version of the 6-inch figure, which is probably my very favorite of the 6-inch Black Series figures that Hasbro has done. But looking at the basic version here, it's styled very similarly to the 6-inch since it has a very fantastic sculpt. It's got that paint that's very grittied up and dirty and realistic, and that's just awesome. Proportions are fantastic. Coloring, all that looks really, really good. I have zero complaints about this figure's aesthetics. Being a Black Series figure, he also has quite a bit of articulation, way more so than you would find with the 5 POA line. And he comes with a single accessory. Let's get a close-up of the figure. And once again, Hasbro did a very meticulous sculpt on this guy. It's just perfect. The helmet doesn't look too big. It doesn't look too small. It looks like you would have a human head fitted underneath it, and it just looks really, really good. I mean, this is exactly as good as you would probably expect for something that bills itself as being the collector, highly detailed line. I mean, it just looks really, really good. Look at that paint weathering. I mean, it's just really nicely done. The color of the figure, it's not white. It's not like a stark white that we see with Stormtroopers. It's more of this beige color. And I rather like that because it gives it more of a realistic sort of appearance. But again, the way that they painted on that dirt, it just looks really fantastic. I really like what they did here. It looks like something that's, seen its share of battles and, had some time fighting rebels and whatnot out on the beaches of Scarif. I really like it. I think it looks great. The rest of the costume looks equally sculpted as nicely. All of the details that you need for this figure are there. It looks very much like what we saw in the film, and it just looks great. I mean, this is so cool. One thing with the 6-inch scale figure is that it was basically the same body they used on the Toys R Us exclusive hover tank pilot. So if Hasbro really wanted to, all they'd have to do is change the head on this guy, change the paint, and we could have a hover tank pilot. So hopefully they do that down the road. The other thing is they could easily repaint this to be a squad leader. They could repaint it to be the squad captain. So, I mean, there's definitely options with this. Let's just hope that they do that at some point, because this is a really nice looking figure. Just fantastic sculpt. Even those pants, I think they're a little bit glossy. It's the same issue I had with the 6-inch one, is that the pants are just a little too glossy looking. But it's easily forgivable in light of how terrific the rest of the figure is. I mean, this armor just looks really good. Coloring on it, just pretty magnificent, especially for a figure at this scale. So that's really awesome. Got peg holes down on bottom. It looks great. I don't have any issues with the aesthetics of this figure at all. It's pretty close to perfect. And in terms of articulation, we do have a ball joint here at the head, and it gets a pretty good range of movement. You can go up and down, side to side, not so much a tilt. You have ball hinging out both of these shoulders. They're a little bit obstructed back here. If you move them back and then out, they're just kind of hitting a little bit on that armor. It's not too bad in certain ways, like there's pretty good, but just at certain points it doesn't, like if you aim it back like that, it's kind of hitting back here, so I can't really bend it outward. They also conceal the joint pretty well. You can see that it's underneath that shoulder armor, so that's a nice touch. Here at the elbows, you get bends, you get swivels. Same here at the wrists, you get a swivel there. This one goes forward and back, and then the opposite one goes up and down like that. You get a ball hinge here at the diaphragm, and it seems to work really nicely. Here at the hips, we get a ball hinging, and they move really nicely too. I mean, that's almost a full split, way better than the 6-inch version could achieve. Forward, it's a little awkward because of these types of joints that Hasbro tends to give the hips on these 3 3/4 inch Black Series figures. So you basically just got to angle it correctly in order to get forward, and then you would just move the knee forward to get like that. So, and then when you put it back, you do the exact same thing. So you have cuts here at both of the thighs. You get your ball hinging here at both of the knees, so it moves in any direction you really want. And then you get your ball hinging here at the ankles. For accessories, we get the standard E11 blaster that we see with most Imperial figures. It's basically like a black sort of washed color, so it kind of has a little bit of a pewter sort of look to it. Here's a comparison of the figure along with the Rogue One 5-point of articulation style squad leader. This is the one that came packed with Moroff, the big white fluffy creature in one of the Rogue One 2-packs. So they're in scale with each other. I think that the 5POA one actually looks pretty good for such a basic figure, but just looking at them side by side, there's really no contest here how much cooler the super articulated version looks. Not to mention a very slight height difference between the two. And also, even though it's a trooper, you can't get this guy in any cool poses like you can with that one. So that's one of the huge drawbacks from the 5POA line when it comes to characters that should be super articulated, like the main characters and troopers. Here's a comparison of the figure along with the 6-inch Black Series version, his older brother from another dimension. I don't know, I can't think of a good joke here. But it's really cool to see these side by side because clearly you see that the quality has been maintained from 6-inch down to 3 3/4 inch. And that always makes me very happy to see. And sometimes it's the 3 3/4 inch figures that are better detailed, better quality than the 6-inch. In this case, it's pretty much the same. I still think that this one is my favorite 6-inch figure Hasbro has done. It just looks fantastic in every way, shape, and form. Sculpt, color, deco, articulation. And the same is true with this guy right here. So I would definitely put this figure in my top 10 favorite 3 3/4 inch scale figures that Hasbro has ever done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, 3 3/4 inch scale, Scarif Stormtrooper, Walmart exclusive action figure. Overall, you guys, I think this is an absolutely fantastic figure. I'm thoroughly pleased with what I'm seeing here, and I am so glad I ordered 3 of them. And I actually want more. I want to get at least 2 more because it's just a terrific figure all around. The sculpt is magnificent, one of Hasbro's absolute best in any scale. The paint is exactly like the 6-inch version, which makes me really happy as much as I love that figure. And all the battle damage and carbon scoring and deco on it, I mean, they're all present, so that makes me really glad to see. Articulation is great, and I think it actually works a little bit better on this figure than it does the 6-inch version. Except for those shoulders, they are a little bit hindered depending on how you position them. But overall, articulation works very, very well. This is one of Hasbro's absolute best. Hopefully they can do all figures like this going forward because it's just awesome. And I highly recommend it to you, especially if you're a fan of Rogue One or the Scarif Troopers. Like I am, the Scarif Troopers were my absolute favorite thing about Rogue One. And I'm going to call them Shore Troopers. Shore Troopers is a better name. It's kind of in the style of Sand Troopers, Snow Troopers, and so forth. So Shore Trooper it is. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do give us a like, do subscribe, let me know your own thoughts down in the comments. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time my friends, bye bye!